Hello and welcome back to What I Wish I'd Known About Self-Publishing Before I Got Started. I am Carly with Dragon Key Press, and today we are going to talk about the PCN, or Pre-Assigned Control Number, through the Library of Congress. This is how you get your Library of Congress number. You have the option of going in as an author or as a publisher. I have it set up for myself as a publisher, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the publisher portal for the PCN. You can do the author pub portal if you so desire instead of putting in as a publisher. Just note that ahead of everything else, you do need to make sure that you have your ISBN already set out, otherwise you're going to have some issues. Fingers crossed I put my login correctly. I did? Okay. So what we're going to do on this open screen is we are going to say, request your Library of Congress control number. It will give you the warning that you need to use the forward and back buttons instead of any other buttons. Fingers crossed this isn't too bright on the screen so you can see it. But I'm going to let you know what this is. This section right here asks if it is forthcoming book, and if it's only going to be in electronic format. I'm going to just say no. This is part of the general information. Will this be in a periodical? I'm going to say no. We're doing a dummy book here, by the way. Is this intended for children or young adults? I'm going to say yes, because that's pretty much the age group that I go for, usually. So I'm just going to say this is for older teens, 15 to like 17, and I'm going to pretend some arbitrary number of 256 pages, because why not? Here it's going to ask you to put in your language and when you expect to publish your book. Just as a reminder, you cannot request a Library of Congress control number if you already have published your book, so keep that in mind. If you are doing this for yourself, you don't have to say a client is paying for you to publish this, so you can say no, but if somebody is paying you, then you have to say yes. But that might not come up if you're doing the author portal instead of the publisher portal. Go ahead and go on to the next sector, where you're basically going to put in who is basically the author, illustrator. See, there's author, editor, illustrator, translator, compiler, and a section for other. So I'm going to just put in an arbitrary name. We're going to say John, and we're going to say just like Q Public. We're going to say he was born in 1982, because why not? This is a fictitious thing. Anyway. Alright, then you need to make sure you say add the contributor. If it doesn't like it, it will let you know. I forgot to say, hey, this person's the author. So we're going to say add contributor, then it will come down here. If you need to add additional titles or contribution types for each person, then you would do that there. However many authors, editors, illustrators, etc. Then you move on to the next section. This is where you actually put in the title of your book. We're just going to give it some random name. Here you can also add a copy of the expected cover if you have it. I don't have one, so we're not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about a subtitle, which is the next section, or a book edition number. The publisher name is, if you have put it under a publisher account, the name of the publisher imprint you are using. Otherwise, it's going to ask you for your name in the field. But you must make sure that it matches correctly, the spelling has to be correct, all that. And of course, you have to have a city and state inside the state, or inside the United States, rather. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So I'm just going to say Dallas, Texas. And then if you have any additional contributors you need to worry about, it's giving you a chance to add them right there by saying, hey, this is who we've got. And we're going to either say we need to add more by going back, or sure, we're good, go on to the next section. On this page, sorry, there's noise in the background. On this page, we are going to say whether or not this is going to be a series or not. I'm going to say no. Is this going to be in one or more volumes? Think of like an encyclopedia, or where it's chopped up because it's just that long, like Lord of the Rings or something. And then here's where you're actually going to end up putting your ISBN numbers. And I'm going to just randomly create one. Or just pull one up here. And then you have to submit the type of binding, add the ISBN, then you're going to say the next section. Alright, I forgot to say, hey, this is not going to be an ebook at this time. It does give you the option to say, will this be in an electronic book or ebook format? If it is, then you will put the ISBN you are using for the ebook down here, like you did up here. Do not do it up in the print ISBN section, because that is just for your hardbound, board cloth, hardcover, library binding, paperback, etc., etc., etc. I have physical copies. We're going to go on to the next section where you basically are putting your description. I'm just going to copy paste something I already have there. This is basically your back cover blurb. In case you haven't gotten that one already, you need to make sure you get that ASAP before you can keep going on, or you can kind of put a placeholder if you have to, but it's recommended you have all of this information in advance. Alright, you have your publisher contacts. For me, on this account, it's myself. I don't need to add anybody else because it's basically me, but when they receive or send out an email saying, hey, yeah, we got the number, or no, we didn't, you need to make sure you put whoever it is, and then make sure you add that person as the contact. Otherwise, it will not accept it. And then you say, okay, good, anything else you need to let them know that you think might be useful in cataloging, go for it there. Forgot that you have to do the pull down menu there on that as well. So, that was my bad. Okay, then you can go on to your next section. Make sure that you review everything before you hit that final submit button. Otherwise, it will be wrong, and it's a pain in the butt to go back and fix. But I'm not going to submit because this is a fake example just to show you how to do it. So I'm going to not submit. I'm just going to close out and call it good. Now, if you have any questions about this process, or any other questions in general that you need to ask, feel free to go ahead and reach out to me or leave a comment. Again, I am Carly with Dragon Key Press, and I hope to see you for our next video.